The West Mesa Murders stand as a significant and tragic chapter in Albuquerque's history, following the grim discovery in 2009 of the remains of 11 women and one unborn child. This harrowing case has become known not only for its unsettling details but also for the complex array of evidence surrounding the disappearances of these women, who vanished between 2001 and 2005. The investigation navigates through the intricacies of each victim's life, underscoring the social dynamics at play within the community and revealing the multifaceted issues at hand. The inquiry began on February 2, 2009, when a woman walking her dog uncovered a bone protruding from the ground near an area designated for future development. This discovery initiated a chain of events that would unveil one of the most disturbing murder cases in New Mexico's history. When authorities responded, an extensive excavation was launched, leading to a thorough investigation that ultimately revealed a series of shallow graves. Over the ensuing weeks, investigators uncovered the remains of 11 women and one unborn child, exposing a grim reality in the vast deserts of West Mesa, an area that, until then, had been unassuming to the public. The initial examination of the graves did not merely lead to the identification of bones, it facilitated the uncovering of the stories behind the victims, some of whom had been reported missing, while others had lived in precarious situations that rendered their disappearances particularly alarming. These findings were perplexing and deeply troubling, casting light on a string of potential murders that had gone unresolved for far too long within the community. Each discovery magnified the fear that rippled through Albuquerque, raising questions about public safety and the systemic issues contributing to such tragedies. The victims of the West Mesa Murders were primarily women whose lives reflected a range of personal struggles and experiences, exacerbated by circumstances that rendered them vulnerable. Their identities varied, but significant commonalities emerged regarding age, background, and social challenges faced by the women. Among the victims were teenagers like Jamie Barella and Selania Edwards, both at the heart of their adolescent years at just 15 years old when they disappeared. Their youth and potential, like so many others, were tragically shortened, symbolizing the lost futures that these women, and their families, were deprived of. Cinnamon Elks and Michelle Valdez were among the older victims, each facing significant struggles with substance abuse and psychological challenges that complicated their circumstances and increased their risks. Elks, at 32 years old, battled with personal demons and a spiraling addiction that contributed to her entrapment in a dangerous environment, while Valdez was tragically pregnant when she disappeared, intensifying the nationwide conversations on the vulnerability of pregnant women involved in at-risk lifestyles. There have been 11 victims attributed to the West Mesa Murders. Each victim's narrative adds layers of complexity to the investigation, emphasizing that many of them were marked by interplay of factors from sex work to drug abuse, which made them susceptible to violent crime. The documentation of these women's lives and struggles reveals the stark reality of their existences within a system often indifferent to their plight. Moreover, the evidence tracing back to the circumstances leading to their disappearances illuminates the reality of just how dangerous these areas within the community actually are, heightening concerns regarding the safety and well-being of anyone moving through these areas at night. Emerging evidence strongly suggests a possible serial pattern behind the disappearances, as investigators noted alarming similarities among the cases. All of the women shared connections through tragic strands of vulnerability, significantly tied to their involvement in sex work and their struggles with substance abuse. Law enforcement officials began to suspect a singular predator might be responsible, who had exploited these vulnerabilities with calculated malice, thus instilling fear among those still living in the shadows. The nature of the crimes presented chilling implications, as investigators assessed the possibility that each victim's disappearance generally aligned with dates and circumstances indicating a systematic and methodical approach by the perpetrator. The very revelation of a potential serial killer sent shockwaves throughout Albuquerque, emphasizing the alarming reality that a threat resided within the community, engaging in brutal acts with a chilling efficiency that allowed for evasion of capture. At the same time, the implications of these findings underscored the need for awareness and community involvement in addressing the inherent dangers facing such vulnerable populations. As the investigation unfolded, conversations emerged about addressing issues that put these women in positions that made them susceptible to violence. Amid the ongoing investigation, several suspects emerged over time, though two individuals clearly distinguished themselves due to their documented histories and alarming behavioral patterns. Lorenzo Montoya garnered attention early on due to his troubling background marked by violence towards women, creating an essential lead soon after the remains were unearthed. His criminal past, particularly his connection to vulnerable women, raised serious concerns about a potential connection to the victims, but was complicated due to the intentionally chaotic lifestyle Montoya maintained. Unfortunately, Montoya's potential link to the murders was curtailed following his death in 2006, an event that thwarted a deeper inquiry into his activities and possible connections to the victims. His untimely passing left many unanswered questions, amplifying the frustration among investigators who were eager for closure and compelled to seek alternative paths for making sense of the string of disappearances. In stark contrast, Joseph Blee surfaced as a convicted serial rapist with extensive interactions with law enforcement, totaling nearly 130 encounters prior to the case being fully opened. His criminal history of violent offenses with women raised substantial red flags regarding his potential involvement in the West Mesa murders. Particularly concerning was a significant tip from Blee's ex-wife, which established unsettling connections between him and the victims alongside a disturbing pattern of stalking behaviors directed specifically at women involved in sex work. Despite the wealth of evidence pointing towards Blee, efforts to establish a concrete connection to the murders have remained elusive. Investigators face the challenge of assembling tangible evidence that could withstand scrutiny in court, limiting their progress in sealing a case against potential suspects. This ongoing struggle emphasizes the complexities involved in such delicate investigations, where human lives and intricate societal issues intertwine. The investigation remains open and actively pursued, bolstered by the unwavering dedication of law enforcement and the essential engagement of the community. Retired APD Homicide Sergeant Liz Thompson has continued to pursue leads with unwavering commitment, ardently advocating for advancements in forensic technology that might one day illuminate overlooked details and unearth new paths towards breakthroughs in solving the case. Since the discovery of the graves, nearly 1,400 tips have poured in from the public and community members, revealing an enduring commitment to seeking justice for the victims. Local leaders, including Mayor Tim Keller, have consistently urged public cooperation, emphasizing that each lead has the potential to significantly advance the investigation. This collaboration between law enforcement and the community stands as a critical linchpin in piecing together the evidence that could one day lead to resolution in this tragic case. Families of the victims have also played a pivotal role, continuously advocating for focused attention on the investigation. Their enduring hope and relentless pursuit of justice echo the community's desire to uncover the truth behind these heinous acts. The presence of social media campaigns and community vigils further underscores this commitment, reinforcing that their voices represent a crucial perspective in the collective responsibility residents feel toward pursuing justice for the individuals whose lives were tragically cut short. The West Mesa murders not only leave an indelible mark on the community but also serve as a haunting reminder of the broader societal issues at play. The victims, once vibrant individuals filled with dreams and aspirations, have tragically transformed into symbols of vulnerability, reflecting the multifaceted challenges that arise from violent crime. As the investigation continues with a focus on uncovering the truth, the stories about the victims resonate profoundly through the community fabric. Each narrative underscores the critical need for awareness regarding flaws within the system that allows such crimes to flourish. Through the evidence that continues to filter in, the urgency to address these vulnerabilities emerges as paramount within the ongoing discourse on public safety and justice. The West Mesa murders encapsulate essential truths that extend beyond the tales of the victims themselves, serving as a vital call to action. It stresses the necessity of a community-centered approach aimed at addressing the root causes that lead to such heinous acts. The journey toward resolution remains fraught with challenges, but the hope for closure, accountability, and a safer community persists, urging all those affected to remain resolute in their search for answers amid the lingering darkness. In conclusion, this case has left an indelible mark not only on families but on the entire community. As the investigation seeks to piece together the evidence, it opens discussions about protection, justice, and the imperative to ensure that such tragedies do not recur. Continued vigilance, combined with community solidarity and resources, represents the best path forward in preserving both the memories of the victims and the hope of a more accountable future. Anyone with relevant information can contact the Albuquerque Police Department at phone number at 505-768-2450. Additionally, information can be reported anonymously to Crime Stoppers at 505-843-STOP. If you wish to speak directly to an investigator, you can reach out to Investigator Ida Lopez via email at alopez@cab.gov. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe for more videos.